Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 19 of the New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast, presented by Jobber Knocker. My name is Derek Conway, Dennis Conway, all the Conways. Dom, what's going on? What's going on, Dom?
Nothing much. Catching up.
Yeah. After spending an hour trying to figure stuff out.
We had some technical difficulties with the microphone, but
It was really the camera, but
it was.
it was the camera.
Thank God for
Dom.
the crack shoot.
Desiree.
Desiree.
Yep.
Yes. Desiree,
You
big
went-
thank you.
Yes, Desiree, thank you. You went to Anime Boston for a day. Not
I
even a
did.
full day, but a little bit of a
few
day.
hours, yeah, but
That was your first anime convention?
yes. Won't be my last.
Oh, well, that's fantastic news.
It was
Dom,
awesome.
I remember when we met up, we were walking, or we were going up the escalator at the Heinz Convention Center.
Yeah.
And I just watched your face as we
It was
started to get to the top and everybody was there. It was
a
like
fucking
a kid
scene.
in a candy shop.
Yeah, it was a scene in the best way possible, man. Everyone's just dressed up in favorite characters and just everyone's just loving life. And
Yep.
it was a good vibe for sure, man. So I appreciate you opening my eyes to
You-
that. And there was some cool artwork.
I was
there,
gonna say
what was it?
I took you to the dealer's room.
Yeah.
We went to Artist Alley.
Artist Alley for me was where it was at.
Oh
so,
yeah, all the talented artists.
Yeah.
Whether it be drawings, whether it be keychains, pins, lanyards, they've got it all, especially there and in the dealer's room. Dealer's room, you're gonna get more like plushies and whatever, but
Yeah, I'll definitely be on the lookout for the next time it comes, which is a yearly thing.
Anime Boston is yearly. The next big one for me is another anime convention, which is in October, which I will be hosting game shows
Oh, wow.
all
And
weekend.
where's that?
That's a place. I forget.
Not Massachusetts.
No, it is Massachusetts.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. So
It was in New Hampshire. Then we're gonna put it. I'm gonna edit future Conway. Edit a bar
Yep.
on there for for another anime convention.
So look like right around here.
Yeah, somewhere around here.
Right around here.
Yeah, I'll be hosting game shows, Jeopardy, Family Feud. We do 3 days of Jeopardy, Family Feud. I'm gonna try. What day did you go to Anime Boston? Was it Friday? No, Saturday.
I think it was a Saturday.
Okay, so I was in Beppo. So I was in my
You-
fursuit, right?
Yeah, panda face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
I'm gonna
orange-
try
and
to
the orange
host in
jumpsuit.
that, but I
Yes.
don't know if I'll be
Be
able
able
to
to-
see.
Can they hear you?
They could. Yeah, the hearing isn't that bad.
Okay. I think you can wing it.
I think
If
I
you can
figure
hear it
I-
and they can see,
I
if
wanna
you can
do-
see it and
I
they
wanna
can hear
do-
you, yeah.
Yeah, I want to do Family Feud. I want to do Jeopardy because
I think
Jeopardy's
that's
the big
awesome.
one. I want to
Yeah.
do that in the Beppo costume. I bought a microphone for like a headset microphone, but the heads like just fits perfectly that I don't need it.
Okay.
But-
So people have to sign up to be on the Jeopardy? You pick?
So day 1 and day 2, I pick from the crowd.
Wow.
Day 3, the winners of day 1 and 2 face the champion from last year, which
Cool.
we have a new champion. But the thing is, if you win 3 years in a row, there's 2 rules. There's 2 big rules in Jeopardy for AAC. There's the Matt McKenna rule, which means if you answer, you only get 3 questions. Which what I mean by that is, if I ask you a question, you get it right, you can control the board. That's question 1.
Okay.
You can do that 2 more times.
Pass or play?
No.
No. Okay.
But so if you get 3 questions right in a row, your control of the board switches to the next person. Because we've had in the past years somebody just dominate
Rattle
boards,
off.
just
Run the
dominate
gauntlet.
the boards. Yeah,
Um,
essentially. So
Is
we
it
avoid
all, are the questions anime related?
that mostly. So
Okay.
there's anime. There's it's called. There's a. I call it potty pourri, but it's a potpourri, not potpourri, but a random. It could be anything category, but we're getting a lot more pulp culture or like more
Yeah,
everybody
broaden the
involved.
horizons.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
cool. Yeah, can you
There
post
was,
it on that?
there was a Nicolas
October.
Cage category one year. So yeah, and
Very
then
cool.
yeah, maybe we'll dress you up as something.
Yeah.
You can do a video game or something. I don't know.
Fucking A. I'm down.
Do something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that'll be fun for October. All right, cool.
That was only a few weekends ago. We haven't been apart too long.
No. Oh, it was 2 weekends ago, and then this, 3 weeks in between recording, maybe?
Something.
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad.
But before we get to New Japan, I watched my first full Impact show overall, and probably 23, probably, I don't even know. I've seen clips of matches and whatever, but I haven't watched a full show in forever. And I watched all of Rebellion.
Okay.
I thought Rebellion was really good. I thought the overall show was great.
Yep.
Um,
The opening tag match, right? The X Division
the
tag
X-
match.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Chris Bay was awesome in the finish of
Motor
that
City
match.
Machine Guns versus Chris Bay and Ace Austin
Yep.
for the Impact titles. That was great. I liked the finish of it.
I love
thought
that
the
finish.
was great.
It was so awesome. He couldn't get it, and he's grabbing it with his teeth.
Yeah.
And like he's hanging upside
But,
down,
like-
and he hands the belt to Bay. Yeah, they did a
Right,
really good
they
job
did it
there.
1-2. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that
cool.
was fucking cool.
I thought Perazo versus Grace was good.
Awesome,
Awesome
match.
Macklin. Okay, so
Didn't watch
Macklin.
Macklin versus
So
Kushida.
you didn't?
Oh,
Okay.
I should've.
So before I talk about that, Eddie Edwards versus PCO was great. I love Eddie Edwards. I'm on the fence about PCO really.
He's growing on me. The Impact's handling him well, probably
Yeah.
better than any other promotion would have.
Yeah. So I thought that was good. I like that they're so for a while, from what I gathered, Alicia Edwards and Eddie Edwards were kind of like, we're married, but we're not, like, I'm not happy with what you're doing and
Yes.
all this other stuff.
Yeah,
but
there was a
now
little
she
rift there.
turned right, and now she, I assume, turned heel and joined or went with him. I feel
didn't
weird
see
saying
what-
join him.
Yeah, I didn't see what the final culmination was between the two of them because there was a rift. But yeah, they got back together and they had a great look coming out too.
Yeah,
Like
that green.
I love
And-
that entrance and the way they look together and they look like they're really gelling right now.
Yeah, and then so the main event was Steve Macklin versus Kushida for the Impact World Championship because it was vacated. Macklin won that, but the thing is that like I thought Macklin came through in the end, but I thought that was watching Kushida as long as I have. I thought it was a Kushida match.
Okay.
Like I thought, like anytime, like when Kushida's won the Best of the Super Juniors or like had a big time match, that's what that felt like.
Okay.
Like he has this formula for big time matches, and that's
Did he
what
change
they
his
did.
moveset or anything?
No, it's just one of those things where like it feels like he focuses on the arm more. He
Gotcha.
goes for the hoverboard lock more. There's like big moves leading into the hoverboard. It just
Okay.
felt like a very standard big time Kushida match.
I think I had seen that Macklin won
Macklin did
before
win, yeah.
before I got to
Oh.
watch on the pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
also the night before Capital Collision was on, I don't want to jump ahead, but I felt like the Motor City Machine Guns outcome of that match was very telling as to where we were headed with Impact the next night.
Yeah.
So when I saw the outcome of certain things, I was like, all right, I see where we're headed.
Which
'Cause
was kind of surprising, but
because they've been together, you know. You had
Yeah.
Impact and Kushida together there.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I'm
wow,
wondering
that's a
what they're doing
recipe
there.
for Motor City Machine Guns to come
Right.
out on top on Friday night, and then Kushida to come out on top on Saturday, and then I forget what they call each other, but they have a cool name when they're all together. And they mix the two
Time
names together.
Machines?
Time Machines, I
Is it
think.
Time
yeah.
Machines?
Or is that?
I forget.
Yeah. Anyway, they mix the two tag team names together, and it's great.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that didn't happen. But
Macklin's next opponent is PCO.
Okay.
It was announced.
it's a good big.
Yeah.
to set that. They did a good
I
job
th-
with establishing PCO
I know-
getting to Macklin.
I
for
know
his first
people aren't
defense.
aren't high on Macklin. I'm not high on Macklin, but I thought he had a very. I don't even know if it. It's hard to say if it actually was impressive, because it wasn't a bad performance. I thought he
I
did
mean,
very well.
yeah.
And never really watching him. I know he spent time in WWE, but I never like.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was a Forgotten Son.
Yeah. He's totally gotten away from it while still staying in the same gimmick area, which is cool.
Right.
I do enjoy, like, that build-up package where I kind of learned about Macklin's character. I actually enjoy what he's doing character-wise.
Okay.
But I don't want to say... I don't think Macklin's a transition champion, but I don't know if it was really a coming-out party for him. He has cool moves, like that Tree of Woe spear he does.
Okay.
I think that's really cool. What was his other move? He did something else too.
See, that's the thing with me. Like, it's very tough for me to get into that kind of persona character. The minute I see like the leather jacket and the beard, he's a B-rate John Moxley when you look at him, right? If you
Yeah.
see him, if you just see a picture of him and you're like, okay, he's Impact's version of John Moxley. Like, I get it.
Kinda
Been there
in
before.
look, yeah.
In look.
Yeah.
So it's very tough for me to be like, okay, I gotta get on board with this
Right.
because that type of character has to be done so well to be
Right.
believable.
Yeah.
But at this point, that if you're not incredibly good at it, you're not gonna have my attention.
Yeah, but the thing too is like it's like I kind of agree with you on the look, but at the same time when he talks, he's very different from
He
Moxley.
is. He's a very
talks-
military.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's his real life, the military stuff. So
Which
I mean,
is
that's
awesome.
Right, which is
Yeah.
great. I think
I
that's.
think there's a Marine too.
I don't know, but I think that's the thing is that he's projecting real life stuff, and they say that's the stuff that works, and it's working for him. And the crowd seems to not like him, and that's what you want if you have a heel
If you
champion.
get real heat, right?
Yeah, so I think
Now, if they're showing up to hate you and not just not showing up, then
But
something's working.
I'm hopeful that he's not holding it till Josh Alexander gets healthy and only to drop it back. But at the same time, I hope that he faces Josh Alexander and beats Josh Alexander. And nothing against Josh Alexander. I've always enjoyed watching his stuff.
But that would solidify the championship win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you need to do it if you really believe in Macklin. And it was weird going in because I was just like, I can't really see them putting it on Kushida, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Because I
Agreed.
think Kushida's, it's weird because Kushida and Kevin Knight have a tag team match against Catch 2-2 for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight titles coming up.
Oh, wow.
And I am torn because I expect them to win, but at the same time, I also expect Kushida to win Best of the Super Juniors. But
That's a nice pick.
we have a lot. There's a lot of things building for Best of the Super Juniors because you have Doki kind of changing and looking better.
Okay.
You have Kanemaru looking different, looking better. You have Yo looking a lot. He looks so much better with personality.
Yeah, see, I need to see these guys. But before we jump into Best of Super Juniors and get off of Impact, thoughts on all this? So you don't.
Okay. So I liked Aldis when he was NWA's World Heavyweight
too.
Champion. I really like when I was watching NWA regularly. I really liked him.
He was a perfect world champ for them.
I don't know how he's going to translate because
In Impact?
because he is very. You either like all this
Yeah.
or you don't.
Is
And if
this-
you don't, you don't care. That's the way I feel
Wow.
about because he has a certain way of talking to and at people that is I've called it narratory in the past. Like he sounds like a narrator.
Like you can tell he's reading a script? Like
No,
off
no,
his
no, no,
brain,
no.
or-
Like, yeah, off his brain, but like how he delivers and how he talks, it sounds like you would hear it in a documentary.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
I think he works.
Safe.
Yes, but I think he works in NWA style.
Oh, 100%.
Like that era, I think that's how he works.
And he takes a little from Triple H here and there, too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that
Just not his.
I think
just not
he's
Triple
going
H.
to. If the thing is like you have Macklin as a heel, I wouldn't turn Macklin face.
No, absolutely
I think
not.
you could. I think with Macklin, you could have him be an in between. Like he's gonna get cheered versus Macklin, but he'll get booed versus Alexander. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think all this should. I as much as I like could give or take all this, he should be atop a company. I
looks like
think
$1
he
million.
has that. I think he proved that with NWA, and I think he could solidify that with an Impact run.
And this is his first time in Impact since
Magnus.
Magnus. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So we're
as
seeing
far as
two
I know,
completely
yeah.
different. Me too. We're seeing two completely different versions of where this guy was then from now. Almost like almost like the version of like Drew Mack leaving from the WWE, then becoming Drew Mack, like
Right,
that
right,
kind
right.
of
Yeah, yeah.
drastic
Right.
character change.
I just think that with all this, he is going to be. He has the ability to be on top of a company for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Impact is a good place for him.
I agree 100% with that.
I know
Everything
there's-
fits.
Right. I think
Yeah.
he can work well. And I think that if you can pull some British talent to kind of be with him, not
Like
his.
like a Trent Seven.
No.
No.
I think if you get like, I don't even know, but if you could get him like one or two guys that aren't really going to be heaters for him, but are going to be like that you can like
Like what they do with Walter
solidify.
or Gunther.
Yeah,
Okay.
but less jobbery guys.
Mhm.
Like and the thing, and
Credible.
that's kind of right, and that's the thing I kind of hate about Imperium. And this is like it's just a problem I have with factions for the most part overall. Is like you have your top guys, and then you have the jobbers or the heaters or whatever that are going to take the pins and they're just there to
They
get
need
beaten
some
up.
wins.
And,
They need some.
but,
They need
like,
to solidify some credibility.
Right, and like I think like I understand the tag titles have been tied up, and this is the problem with not unifying brand splits.
Wild.
But like, why haven't Imperium have the tag titles and the Intercontinental title? Like,
When you get two sets of them, it makes perfect sense,
right.
right?
It's just
Yeah.
one of those things, and like, and that could be changing in the future. We don't know, but it's just one of those things, like I said, where it's like, I feel like if you're gonna like, I just feel like the simple formula for factions is like top star or stars, like in the case of the elites where it's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and then you have Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler.
Right.
But like I'm not even saying I don't even need you to go to the opposite end where you're having like everyone dominant,
Yeah.
like almost like Blackpool Combat Club. But at the same time, I feel like with Blackpool Combat Club, Yuta is that. He is the member of the faction that you would say is going to take every fall, but at the same time, when he gets a victory, you're not surprised. Like I almost
have
feel
done a
like
good job like that.
Blackpool Combat Club is like the perfect faction in the sense that there may be too many top guys, but you don't have anyone who like every time they're in the ring, you're like, oh, I know who's taking the pinfall.
Right. Yeah.
You know
They've
what I
done a
mean?
good job with every time Yuta gets in the ring. Is he going to win or is he going to lose?
Right. It's that
Yep.
part of it.
I agree.
And I think if you do that with all this, you'll have
Yeah, I'm down with
something
that.
like-
Get some people around.
maybe
all
if
this.
you even maybe not British. Maybe I don't want to give him Moose,
No, you want him against Moose.
but if you give him like Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, and like I don't know who else they would have on their roster that could do it. Maybe Kenny King, but even I'm on the fence about Kenny King.
Right.
But like if you give him like one other person, you're like, all right, Eddie Edwards is credible,
like
Alicia
Bennett.
Edwards credible.
I don't like Taven. I like Bennett, though.
I like them together.
Okay.
I don't like Taven individually, but I like them
Right.
together. I like the Kingdom, but I don't like Taven.
Gotcha. I
separately.
see what you're saying.
Quick side note. I did say to Teresa last night, we were driving, and I said I feel like if Roderick Strong gets his release from WWE, I feel like that we could see the reunion of the Undisputed Era taking on the Jericho Appreciation Society in some big match at Wembley.
Okay.
Like, I feel
Yeah.
like they're setting up for something, but I'm worried that WWE is going to release Roderick Strong, and then his 90 days no compete clause comes up or like ends on
When is
the
it?
day
When
after
is Wembley?
Wembley.
August?
I don't know. I think so, but it's just I know he's been asking for his release. I don't know if he was.
His
granted
wife's
it.
there, right?
His wife's in
Marina Shafir?
AEW, yeah. But he also, I think he's cleared. He had a neck issue, I think.
Oh, wow.
Or a shoulder issue. I don't remember.
Him too, because he's awesome.
I love Roderick Strong.
Me too.
I always have. I got a picture with him when I went down to WrestleMania one year. It was at somebody's show. You know how they like WrestleCons all together?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't.
It's
I
the
don't know
best.
if it was called WrestleCon when I went down. What year did I go?
Was it a
down?
WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, it was
No, it was
during.
probably
It was during.
Which one was it? Do you know?
I think it was Punk Taker.
29.
Because it was at, I went to it, it was at Giant Stadium. I know that much. I did Dragon Gate Seminar, and I was just
Wow.
putzing around, and
Yeah, because I remember they did
Roddy
access.
was there.
They did access at the Barclay that year, but I don't remember where WrestleCon was.
but
it was a WrestleCon. I do remember that.
but I did, I was just they were like, oh yeah, we have shows the rest of the day. You can hang out.
Sick, right?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, dope. And then I saw Roderick Strong, and I was like, all right, I need a picture with Roderick Strong. Because I hate,
His Ring of Honor shit is off
as
the wall.
much as I'm a mark, and I admitted it in a locker room last night, or Saturday, sorry. I said it out loud in a locker room, I don't really care. And I was just, I don't like going up to wrestlers and asking for pictures.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I don't know why I feel so weird about it. And like, I know there was a big, I don't know if you saw it, you probably didn't, but there's a Facebook page called the Angry Wrestling Vet,
Yeah.
and he posted a thing about not taking pictures with people in the locker room.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're saying if you're in the locker room. I
Right,
gotcha.
right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in general, that's
Yeah.
just something on me.
It depends on who it is, and like where it is.
Like, I've gotten weirder as it, like, there's a picture on my Facebook of Eddie Edwards, like I said, hey, I want to act like I'm taking a chop. He's like, I'll chop you. I was like, no, I'm fine with it if you do. I'm just saying, for picture's sake, I want like this,
Right.
that, like that mode. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm down. But anyways, it was like, but like the older, I've just been kind of, I've kind of always been weird about it. But like, it depends on how, where, and what I am.
Yeah.
Because like, King of Trios, I did the fan conclave, and that was like, I got pictures with everybody. But at the same time, like, I was just like, I need a picture with Roderick Strong. Like, he is top 5 for me.
Wow.
Like, his Ring of Honor stuff is
His Ring of Honor stuff
amazing.
is fucking awesome. I found him on like CM Punk's Second City Saint DVD.
Oh, yeah.
And his shit with Punk in that time of Ring of Honor was, I was like, wow, this kid's fucking awesome.
His
I had
stuff
no
with
idea who
Eddie
he, I
Edwards,
remember the
Davey
name,
Richards.
but I'd never seen him up until that DVD. And then
Yeah.
once I did, I was like, yeah, this kid's fucking awesome.
All right. So, Sakura Genesis.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, we'll just
Yeah, get right into
go
it.
for the reason you're here. Sakura Genesis.
I think I sent you. I don't think I took any notes on anything. I just sent to you over text is what I have.
That's fine.
For that.
So Sakura Genesis took place. Mercedes Monet defended her title in a triple threat match. She
very good
retained,
match.
which was a
I
very good
thought
match.
she looked. Oh, that was like the best match she had in a long time. I thought she looked.
Yeah, she looked
Everything
really
was
good.
smooth and
they
crisp,
gave,
and for 3 of them in
they-
there, everything
What was
worked.
the time on that?
I don't know. It took.
I got it right here.
About
It
the
was-
whole
it
ride
was- it
over,
was
so I'd say 15.
14 minutes.
Yeah,
Almost
it took
on
me
the
about
dot.
my whole
It was
ride over, yeah.
13:53. It was good. It was better than the 5 minutes they gave Kyrie and Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné did lose her title Saturday
next
night.
So the
which
three-way,
was fine.
but the three-way, they like. You kind of know she's not gonna lose because they're plugging the Stardom match the whole time, which she's
Yeah.
already in, right?
Right.
So
but at the same time, like, part of me
That was
thinks
my
that
only
match
gripe-
would
that
have
was my only
happened
gripe with it.
regardless.
right.
But at the same time, yeah, you're right.
And
But it was still like they acted like she could lose,
They did.
and there was a few sloppy moments in there. But at the same time, I think that
I didn't love that double submission, the stack submission into the stack pin. I hated
Yeah.
that. I thought that looked awful.
There was a few like the thing is, the more I watch, the more I'm like, and the more I wrestle, I'm like, sometimes it's not a botch, it's
trying something on the like.
not
on the
even
fly.
trying something on the fly. It's like, this is the idea, and sometimes you're just not in position for it, or like Saturday night, I got rolled up in the O'Connor roll, and the guy when the ref was coming down, the ref hit 2. As the ref was coming down for 3, the guy went to go bridge, and when he bridged, it pulled my shoulder up. And I'm like, okay. And the ref stopped because my shoulder came up, and then he counted 3.
Oh, that was supposed to be the finish.
That was the finish.
Ah, shit.
And I'm just like, and I'm not mad at the ref,
Yep.
like too much, because I'm like, dude, just count 3. But I understand, like, you don't want to look stupid. I understand. But I said to the kid after, I was like, dude, if you didn't bridge, it wouldn't have happened.
Would it have looked as good though? I mean, if you got it down, like,
So no, because
I always love the bridge out of that. I don't know,
No,
that's
I
just
love
me.
the bridge too. I was glad to help.
Right.
But it was just like one of those things where it was just like, I also thought, I don't know because I haven't watched it, but I don't know if we were too close to the ropes too. But anyways,
real quick, who'd you wrestle and where was it for what promotion?
so it was Tough and Talented
Tough and Talented.
was the promotion. It was out in Torrington, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
So it was a 6-team gauntlet match, and the team we lost to was called Black and Yellow. I don't know their names, but they are nice guys.
Out of Pittsburgh?
No,
Yeah.
it is a. I wish I knew their names.
No, that's fine. Could we find the match if we weren't looking for it on YouTube,
If you,
on the
if you
website
look,
of that?
if you YouTube
Tough
Don,
and Talented, is that what you
no, yes, Tough and Talented.
Okay.
If you look up Don Kincaid, he films the whole thing and puts it up eventually.
Donkey Kid, Tough and Talented, Conway.
Yep.
Love it. So what happens at the finish? Is it just a
refs
sloppy
just
3 count?
It was just a sloppy 3 count.
Okay.
And I was just
That's
like,
tough.
I
How'd
was
the crowd react to it?
They were fine. The fans are always weird about it. But there were a few times in the triple threat that happened. It was like, it was just like an awkward roll up or an awkward schoolboy, or it's like, I've come to like, my brain has now been like, not all the time, but like my brain's kind of spun some botches where it's just like, yeah, if this was a real fight, that would happen. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I think
like
so.
there's a part of in my head, like there's always a part of wrestling where it's like, this is supposed to be portrayed as a real fight,
Suspend your disbelief.
right?
Yes.
So like, if something happens where it's a miscue that isn't like, it's also how the wrestlers play it off. The wrestlers play it off like it's supposed, like it was supposed to happen, or that it's not a mistake. Then I think that helps a lot, where you kind of just roll with it. It's when you, like, if I go to do a moonsault and I miss, and then I get right up and go to do the moonsault again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guy just stays there.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's like it depends on the situation, but part of me is like, yeah, if this was a real fight and I went to go roll you up and I didn't get the leg or whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? There's some part of it that I think is like, yeah, that would happen in a real fight.
Right.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
makes sense.
What else happened at Sakura Genesis besides the main event? Aussie Open versus
Ooh,
Bushina,
wow. Yep.
Bishamon.
Holy smokes.
Not only was that a phenomenal tag match,
Check it out.
but Kyle Fletcher does a moonsault off the turnbuckle to, I don't know if it was Hiroki Goto
I don't
and
remember. I think.
Yoshihashi or just Goto, but he does the moonsault, catches, falls back, and then cracks his head.
He actually landed on his feet, but when he lost his balance, which
he
was
came back, hit the
cracked
barricade,
his head off the barricade.
cracked his head,
off the back of the
started
barricade.
bleeding. They taped him up. Match continued.
And you can see, Jesus Christ, his tag team father's name, Mark.
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, thank you. And you can see like Mark Davis, like, cause he's on the ground, like looking like, oh shit, and then bang, he gets right over to him, and like it's this moment of reality, like, all right, we good here, and then like,
Right.
Kyle Davis gets bandaged up, and he's right back at it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, he's-
he gets back in the ring and fights off that double team.
Yeah.
There's this sequence of double team moves, right?
Yeah.
And he is just, they got him up, and he's kicking off, like,
Yeah.
back flipping. I'm like, it was literally almost like a little bit of a coming out party for him.
Oh
because
yeah, I think it was. I think this
that
week,
was a
I
great
think,
moment for
I
him.
think Sakura Genesis into Capital Collision was like a coming out pair of shows for Aussie Open.
Yeah.
And like, I've always thought they were like, not always, but for about a year and a half, I thought they were really good.
They were like middling, like they were kind of just
Yeah, and then they
breaking out.
just, I think
I don't
they've
want to say
turned it up a
cruise
gear.
control, but yeah,
I think
definitely-
I think they realized what they had the
It was
opportunity
time
to
to
do.
yep, and they knocked it out
they're-
of the park.
Yeah, so they're gonna hold the titles, I think, till at least Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm hoping they land on the
They're gonna have a
United
great
King- I hope
World
they
Tag
land on the
League
United
showing.
Kingdom show.
Great World Tag League showing. So
So there's that.
there was that. There was Hiromu Takahashi versus Robbie Eagles for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title.
Yep.
Hiromu retains to, I don't know if, I want to say nobody's surprised, but I'm not
Did
sure.
the Cat make a reappearance? Like, has he been with them the whole time? Or did he
I
just
don't
show back
remember.
up? Anyway,
I know
yeah.
he was there for Capital Collision.
And he was on the commentary table.
Daryl.
If Daryl was on the commentary table,
Yep,
they
his
put the
commentary
fucking
was-
headset on him, and
Yeah,
like
they-
right from
they
there on out,
believe
it's
the
just a
case.
fun match, man.
Yeah,
Like
I thought it was a very good match.
good showing for
re-
Robbie Eagles all the
I
way
was gonna say
around. Like,
good return for Robbie Eagles.
100%. Like finally finding his
I
way.
I think Hiromu's dropping after Best of the Super Juniors. I think he's going to drop to whoever wins Best of the Super Juniors because he does not. New Japan, look at me. He does not need a win for a fifth time. Jesus Christ! I'm so sick of Hiromu winning. It pissed
See,
me off so much last
I
year.
am all in on Hiromu. I think he is just
Which is
level.
fine.
See,
He's
like level
good.
him the fuck up.
He's
he is
good,
a fucking
but, like,
star.
And we'll talk about it later, but at Wrestling Dontaku, he will challenge Sonata for the IWGP Heavyweight
Oh, I
title.
love that.
So that's
Yeah.
good. What did you think of Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shota Umino?
From what I saw while we were setting up and through the technical difficulties, I got to take a look at it, and like I said, both of them stars. Like,
Yeah.
And we were talking about Shoto. He's just, and I was saying this to you like while we were getting ready. Like, New Japan has no problem saying this is our new Hiroshi Tanahashi. He's gonna look just like him. He's gonna wrestle just like him. Like even when after the leg for the Dragon Screw
Yep.
the whole time, like he's just working that knee, working that knee. His gear, his hair, like he
But
is the
he's-
next
Tanahashi.
Tanahashi. Thank you, and they have no problem with it. And
No,
I don't
and
mind it, to be
The f-
honest.
And the fans don't mind either, and I still like that he has that acknowledgement of John Moxley with the vest and or not the vest, the jacket. He's still he's still like I expect at Forbidden Door 2 to him to be involved with Blackpool Combat Club in some way, like he was at the last one.
See, that's right. I forgot about that. That was
so
kind of
it's
like his debut kind of happened with
Right.
Mox, right?
and,
Like, that
yeah,
was,
it was a G1 match, and
Yeah.
after G1 or after the
That
G1,
was like his big comeback,
Moxley
right? Yeah.
Moxley was just like, he's mine now. He's my young boy now. That's it. And they were just like, all right, that's fine with us. Shota's on the brink of being a star.
100%.
Fujita with TMDK, he's on the brink of being a star.
I'll take a look at him.
They've got a few guys out on excursion that will come back and they'll be stars. Who am I feel like I'm missing someone.
No, obviously Sonata.
Yeah, Sonata rebrand, new star, fantastic. This is what he needed.
New Japan
He
is-
won the
they're
New
locked
Japan
in-
Cup.
They're locked and loaded.
Yep,
for sure.
Sonata rightfully won the New Japan Cup. I said this last time we spoke. He was the right choice because you can build with Dave Finley, and that's what they've been doing. And I have a lot of thoughts on Bullet Club, so we will get to it towards the end. But yeah, I think Sonata winning was the right choice.
I think you're right. I questioned you on it, and I said, wow, I mean, we're going to run with him this soon after the repackage. Like, let's get used to this guy. Like, you throw him right at us, brand new packaging, and, like, to throw the belt on him immediately was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, but you said that. You even said it last time we recorded, like, they shotgun this shit sometimes, and this is a show where it could happen. And you were 100% right.
Yep. He
And
beat
then-
Okada in just under 27 minutes, and it was
that match was awesome.
phenomenal.
Slow to go, and slow start, and build. He reminds me, I don't know, a little bit of Randy Orton.
Yeah, he's
That slow
he's
saunter,
starting.
like-
So the whole thing with him was like, I feel like this was what he should have always been because he came out as a cold skull, and it was kind of like, not no personality, but like he was just very calm, cool, collected, kind of similar to like, not Stone Cold, but like if you hear about the origins of Stone Cold Steve Austin, like the name, like that's where Sonata was.
I can see that.
And like, I think sometimes with Los Ingonables de Japón, there were times where he borderlined Orange Cassidy vibes,
Wow.
where it was just like,
Total opposite of what you were trying to do.
right, where like he just I think with Los Ingonables, he like would turn it up. He wouldn't like work a match like Orange Cassidy, but he would like. It took a while to get the build to the like, not in every situation, but like it felt very much to me like he wasn't what they wanted or what he initially thought the character was going to be or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Out the kinks.
and the other thing too, when you look at the comparison to Randy Orton, that's kind of like middle to back end Randy Orton.
That's what I'm saying. This
Like
was
Randy Orton grew to that same in the
when
same aspect
when
of
it
Sonata.
went out to the floor immediately. Like that, it went out to the floor quick in that match, like over the barricade.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so real quick with that, like that's how Okada used to work matches, and like there was a
And it
3
felt
or
like there
4
was a
month
l-
span
it
where
felt
I
like there
did
was a
that
little
too,
of
where
that.
it's like you go to the outside real quick, you do a whip into the barricade real quick, and then you kind of do something.
I think there was a suplex to the floor. Too.
Yeah,
But the
but
way
I'm
he
saying,
was like
yeah.
just kind of like stalking him and shit, and I
Yeah.
was like, wow. And then I think he ends up hitting him with a cutter later in the match, and I'm like, well, there it is. But and even that, like they were kind of like mirroring each other a little
Yeah.
bit. I thought, like,
Yeah.
I think there was at one point where Okada put him up on the second rope, drop kick off to the floor,
Yeah.
and then later on Sonata does it to him.
Yeah,
And
I-
there was a couple other things that he came
Yeah.
back at him like almost like AJ and Nakamura,
Right,
Like that's
right.
the vibe I got from it, but I wasn't sure if that's what I was watching.
Yeah, Sonata
I wanted to bounce
is
that off you.
is I think Sonata is finding his groove really fast.
Seems
and I
like
think
it.
part of it is he finally feels I don't know if a burden is the right word, but he feels like a weight has been lifted, so
Well, I
he
mean,
can
it's tough.
I think part of it too is he went, this is what I want to do, and they were like, yeah, but we want because of where you are with Los
Evil.
Gonzalez,
Yeah.
we need you to be.
He was just a tag team guy. Like
Right.
I couldn't distinguish them. I couldn't
Yeah,
have told you one
I've
thing
s-
about Evil and Sonata differently.
I've said for years, especially when Sonata came in, I was like, they have a top 3 talent in Sonata.
Yeah.
Like he can be one of 3 that carries the
I think I
company.
remember you saying that like when
And
we first
they
started this.
they
too.
like I think I don't know why, I don't know what they were trying to do, whether it was build Evil, which failed, or what, but they took way too long on Sonata.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
They
I'm
didn't,
so
though,
glad
because-
they did it now because
Yeah. The timing is everything, right?
right, and it feels
And maybe
like
they were
like
waiting on it for a reason.
coming out of I think this was where we are going to go regardless of the Osprey injury or not, but like it felt like, well, if you're not going to give if you're worried about Osprey being hurt all the time, which is a fair comparison now after the shoulder.
Yeah.
You
He's a little
can't
frail.
You can't hold on to like Tanahashi's got 3 years left in him, maybe 3 years on that like middle to high level.
Like I said, if he's working bigger guys at a slow pace, I like that style match for Tanahashi right
Yes,
now.
no, 100%.
Keep him grounded.
But you can't just have Okada and everybody else. And I think coming out of Wrestle Kingdom, it kind of felt like that because it almost like in my eyes, I was like, please don't do Naito again. I'm so sick of Naito.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need new. I think I might have said this a few times. We need new stars. We need new top talent.
Mm-hmm.
And to pinpoint Sonata and go, it's either now or never. It's now and it's going to be now for a while. And the other thing too, and I think, and I feel like when we started with just 4 guys after when that faction started, I was like, all right, you got Doki, you got Kanemaru, you got Taka Michinoku, and you've got Taichi. I don't feel like you're going to give the top belt to Taichi as much as I would be fine with it. Taka is not going to wrestle often.
No.
Kanemaru and Doki you've built as jobbers, so you can't. I was like, cool, you have a faction, but you don't have a reason for people to care about this faction. It's not that great of a faction. You kind of just took Suzuki-Gun and split them into 2 groups and added a few pieces. So it's like I was like, okay, what are you gonna do with just 4 guys? And it was just like the Taichi Sonata match at New Japan Cup Round 1. And then just the build, and then he's now with just 4 guys, now just 5 guys. I was like, there it is, perfect. You got you
Slips
did,
right into
like,
that. Yeah, that role of
like,
leader
you
and
can have-
establishing that
right.
whole group. Yeah.
And I will say, coming out of Sakura Genesis, Doki, I don't think is going to be the 0 to 4 points he
He's
was.
not even on my radar, so I gotta take a closer look at him.
My two big coming out are my two big things coming out of Sakura Genesis is Yo looks like a completely different person. He looks like I was confused because I'm watching Yo wrestle, but he's acting in. I thought it was show for a second because I was like, Yo has no personality. How many times have I called him white bread?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, but he had so much personality at Sakura Genesis that I was like, okay.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can work with this. This is good. And then I think Doki, I think you with the addition of Sonata, I think you can build these guys as threats, and I think Doki might get anywhere from 6 to 10 points in this Best of Super Juniors. I don't think he's winning.
Shoes in it.
They haven't announced yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when they're going to announce it, but they haven't yet.
Still a while. It's June, right?
Yeah, it's June.
We're almost in May.
Dude, year's flying.
Dude, it's fucking wild.
Let's talk about Sakura Genesis. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about Capital Collision Day 1.
Okay.
DC. I thought it was a much better card than Day 2.
I don't think I watched Day 2.
I tried to watch Day 2. I couldn't. What match? I watched Aussie Open versus Chaos, which I thought was fine. I watched Lance Archer versus Fred Rosser, which I thought was brutal.
I wanted to watch Finley and AR Fox, and I don't think I saw that. Man, I don't think Kenta and Eddie Edwards in the tag.
So real
I
quick,
watched the last two things.
Real quick about Kenta and Eddie Edwards.
Yeah,
because they've faced a lot back in Noah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Riccaboni who said, with Eddie Edwards wearing the green, it's almost like throwing Noah back in the face of Kenta because those are Noah's colors. Noah's colors are green
and black.
Yeah,
green, black and white. Right. That's cool.
It is, but I don't know. I as much as I like Riccaboni a lot, and I enjoy his commentary, I felt like he was fishing there, because if Eddie Edwards had gone on Impact Rebellion wearing black and red and white, I would have been, and then came out to the green with Noah or with Kenta, I would have been. It would have been more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm doing it for this match, not because it's my look.
right? Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
The triple threat between Aussie Open, Motor City Machine Guns, and Okada and Tanahashi, I thought was very good. I like Alex Shelley when he doesn't. I don't want to say doesn't care, but when he can just be himself. Because there was a point where the
stuff he does off the side, right?
Something was happening in the match, and I think he broke up a pin, and then Okada and Tanahashi walked up to him, and he like turned his back to them and was just like, "I'm not doing anything." And Riccaboni was like, "It was like your parents came to scold you and you didn't do anything."
I know exactly what you're talking about. He was on the apron. Yeah,
so funny.
His stuff away from the action, he does these little things that mean so much, and it's like, man, you're really fucking good. You don't even, not that you don't care, but he cares. He cares.
He's been
but it's
good
like
for so long.
he could, kind of like what we were talking about, like Spears in the group chat, like a kind of guy that just is there to elevate, could be that, and he just stays there. But everything he does because of that makes everyone else so much better, and just, I don't know.
The other thing too,
love Shelley.
So Aussie Open won that match. They won the New Japan Strong Tag Team titles. I've been going back and forth on this. What are your thoughts on them unifying those titles?
The New Japan Strong titles
and the IWGP Heavyweight titles.
Oh wow. No, because I mean, I guess are they both on the same people again?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Stop giving them to the same people.
Right.
Okay, use the New Japan Strong titles for what they are, secondary title, and figure out how to get New Japan Strong some exposure other than, I guess, Fight TV, maybe Access TV, right? Or like when we see those titles, let us know where to go with those, because secondary tag titles, like back in the day with WCW, like Jim Crockett, they had the U.S. tag titles, which Go back and look at that Midnight Express run.
Yeah.
They held the U.S. titles more than they held the World Tag titles.
Oh, okay.
And they were considered the greatest.
Yeah.
So when people saw those titles, it was like, oh, shit, these are just as important as the NWA World Tag titles. And that's the format they should run with.
Yeah,
those.
my
That's me.
my thought about it, and I've gone back and forth, like I said, I don't think they should, because you're really just running shows occasionally. The next one's Resurgence. You're just running U.S. shows under the name New Japan Strong. You've stopped running TV, which is fine, but it's one of those things where it's like you almost, I think you should unify them, but you have to have the IWGP heavyweight title, the heavyweight
As
tag
the sh-
titles
as
on
the-
the shows all the time. So it's one of those weird things that,
Yeah, I don't
because the other thing too is like, you can't always give it to the Motor City Machine Guns. Can't always give it to Aussie Open. You can't always give it to New Japan talent because they're gonna be going back and forth and they may not be able to be on that show. Do you give it to the West Coast Wrecking Crew?
Who's that?
I don't even know. I think it's Royce Isaacs and
yeah. Rosser?
no, it's not Rosser, and somebody else. But it's like you don't. And this is it's kind of like it's a big indie show problem. And what I mean by that is it's a big indie promotion problem where they're not building their own stars because they don't have week to week.
But those guys coming
But-
through with those titles, like the New Japan Strong World title showing up on Impact or everywhere else, even like they can show up on Impact, they can show up on AEW. Like
Right, but
that's what's great about them. That's
Right.
almost like territory type shit.
Right.
Like
And
run
that's-
them through.
Right, but I think that you get into a situation there of New Japan telling Impact or AEW, these people can't lose because they're our champions, and it's just one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm like, then don't put those titles on those people, or, like. It goes when it
I
comes
see
to
what you're saying.
AEW. It's a whole different issue because it goes.
So
into
New
dark
Japan
and
holding those
television.
titles gives them the control of wherever they go.
Right.
They have the control of who
Right,
wins.
exactly. And
regardless
they don't
of-
have to
okay.
worry about talking to Scott
That's
D'Amore or
tough.
Tony Khan about, hey, is it all right if you don't put these guys like it's, I don't know. It's tough.
It's
It
tough,
really
but I feel
is.
like Impact's good at it.
No, they are. They are a lot.
Right?
They
They
are
made a
very
career,
good at it,
career
yeah.
out of great relationships and handling that. DQ finishes on TV. Who gives a fuck? Like Thursday Night Impact, right? Like as long as those titles show up and they're on there, we know, all right, these guys are good. These guys are in the ring with those guys,
Right.
Because those titles are awesome.
Right.
DQ
No, I
finish,
agree
I don't
with
give a
you.
shit.
Right.
It's fair. That's where I don't mind it on TV.
Right.
DQ, yeah, I'm down with all that.
All right. I
So
agree with
That's
you.
how I would.
I agree.
I think it's a good thing. But I'm also a mock for titles and like that awful era in WWE where there was just like titles on the line for
Titles everywhere.
dude
Yeah.
everywhere. I was like, even though it was Overload, I was like, I fucking love it. But
All
to a
right.
certain degree, it works.
Before I get to my Bullet Club talk, we get to our Bullet Club talk because I do want your thoughts.
Sure.
And before we go home, let's talk about our next New Japan show, Wrestling Dontaku, which is taking place on January, February, March, April, May 3rd.
Okay.
Um,
So soon.
I know.
Next weekend? 2 weekends?
Well,
from
there
now?
are so they've already started the Road to Wrestling Dontaku, which is there are 3 shows in on that.
Wow.
So, and on that road we'll have, like I said, we'll have Catch 22 facing
Wednesday.
times.
The week?
That's when they do it, my friend.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We'll have over the course of the week leading into that show, we'll have the Kushida and Kevin Knight Challenge Catch 22 for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight titles. Either way, I'm not surprised. That's not happening. Like I said, that's not happening at Wrestling Dontaku.
No, it's on the road too.
But it's on the road too.
Okay.
And like I said, either way, I'm not surprised. Yeah, so Wrestling Dontaku happens, and then we have the best of the Super Juniors. So at Wrestling Dontaku, we'll have the announcement of
of the Super Junior
Super
competitors.
Junior. Yes.
That's when they do the screen thing, right? And they
Yes,
just fire
that's when
off.
they'll do
That's
the
fun.
screen
Yeah.
screen thing.
That last year was nuts, dude. People just, like, the names that just kept popping up in fucking graphics and. You pulled the guy.
No, I'm trying to find where the tag. Oh, here it is. Okay, so on day 6 of the Road to Wrestling Dontaku tour, it will be Catch 22 taking on Jet Setters. That's what they're called, Kevin Knight and Kushida. And then it will also be Hiromu Takahashi taking on Yoshinobu Kanemaru for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Now, I feel like Kanemaru should win
Okay.
because you have Hiromu going into Sonata. You could do something, and
You
the
play
thing
off
is,
it.
the other thing too, and I find myself doing this a lot, or thinking this a lot at least. I take a very American wrestling booking philosophy, thank you, to New Japan, and then after I say it, I go, that's not how they think over there.
Right.
So,
But sometimes they should.
right, because you
Yeah.
could have just 5 guys get involved, cost Hiromu, and now you have Kanemaru as your title IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, which is wild to think, by the way.
Why is it wild to think?
Because he's a tag team guy, and the thing
Okay.
is like, Kanemaru is such an amazing tag team wrestler that you put somebody with him, maybe not instantly, but they become a better tag team wrestler, and you
Gotcha.
almost instantly win gold. And I want to look it up real quick, but I don't. I feel like Kanemaru has held a solo. Yeah, he's been a 6-time GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion, which is the Noah Junior Heavyweight title.
Okay.
Um,
So, all right.
So it's not. Oh, he's a 7-time. My apologies. So he's not. It's not out of the realm for Kanemaru to win a singles title. I just don't think it's how he's perceived currently.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what makes it a tough sell.
Again, another guy I'm going to look closer at again, I guess. Because
But-
I remember him during the tournament last year. I remember his name, and I was talking about him, but I don't
He's the
remember him.
tequila guy. He comes out with the bottle.
Okay. Yeah. That top hat, the black top
Nope.
hat? That's not him. No.
Nope.
All right, sorry.
Comes out with a bottle.
Real quick, Jet Setters, you said. I just wanted to throw this out there, a little message in a bottle moment. So the Jet Setters,
Yep.
that's, I guess, your boy Kevin Kelly said, that is a play off the tag team Jet Set, who is Bobby Eaton and George Goulas.
Oh,
So,
good for them.
of course, good for them, right? I'm a mark for anything Bobby Eaton. So, went looking for it on YouTube. Couldn't find them at all.
Was
Could
it
not
gorgeous?
find
Was it gorgeous Bobby Eaton or beautiful Bobby?
Beautiful Bobby Eaton and
Beautiful
George Goulas.
Because I
Anyway,
remember
okay,
Cornette talking a lot about because he was.
Midnight Express.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But I had no idea he was in this tag team. Like,
Oh, yeah.
tough enough trying to find him and Coco Beware together. If anyone has, if anyone has any footage
Worst
or
Hall of
DVDs
Famer.
or right,
Coco Beware.
oh thanks. And he wasn't though, and I was kind of on board with that until I realized how good he fucking was before WWE.
Yeah, but yeah, before WWE.
I get
but-
why he's a Hall of Famer now. Like looking
Right
back on
before
his
WWE. Yeah,
NWA shit.
but
If
it's like
anyone
New
can-
Japan. It's like it's like Japanese Hulk Hogan.
It is right. That's a great point. If
Sorry,
anyone
go
can
ahead.
point me in the direction to that, or I don't know, Jet Setter tag teams, please, Bobby Eaton and Golas. Anyone that may be listening or even gives a fuck, drop it in the comments and tell me where to find that.
Cutting you off like
Thank
an
you. That's it.
asshole.
That's okay. Go ahead. And Coco Beware is, you're right. Outside WWE, he's a Hall of Famer, which was bizarre as fuck.
So Wrestling Dontaku, we have a 5-minute Young Lion consecutive battle match. It's a 5-minute fatal 4-way. I don't know if there's any other rules.
Fatal 4-way tag match?
Nope.
Okay.
Oleg Burton, Oscar Lube, Yoto Nakashima, and Raihi Awa. They're young boys.
Okay.
They're just young boys. I think Bolton's going to take it because they've been building Oleg. They like Oleg. That's all I've got.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for it because none of those names ring a bell to me.
8-man tag, Chaos. We have Hiroki Goto, Toru Yano, Yo, and Yoshihashi taking on House of Torture because it is a torture to watch them. Dick Togo, Evil, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi. Chaos, I guess. I would really like to hope they're still doing this personality with Yo.
Okay.
So,
I'm on both again.
six-man tag, United Empire taking on TMDK. Great O'Khan, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis taking on Kosei Fujita, Mikey Nichols, and Shane Haste.
Awesome.
Okay, so this
Everyone
one
wins.
is
That
everyone
match, that
wins,
match,
yes.
that match
Everyone
just
wins.
wins regardless.
Here's my thought. TMDK is probably going to be the next challengers for the IWGP Tag Team titles.
Would hope so.
Fantastic. Please, God, all the day, please give them the titles. Now, I think TMDK should go over here so that they have the right to challenge. Because that's what they did with United Empire. United Empire went over Chaos in a 6-man or 8-man or whatever. And then Fletcher and Davis were like, hey, we want these titles. It's that simple sometimes. Excuse me. It's that simple sometimes. So that's my thought process there.
Okay, love it.
Then we have Jet Setters and Shota Umino taking on Aaron Hanare, Francesco Akira, and TJP.
Wow.
Regardless of the title implications after that fact, I like to see United Empire win there. Also,
I'm usually on
Sorry.
I'm usually on United Empire, but Shota Umino,
Umino,
let
love
him
the
go,
guy.
man. Get him
Love the guy.
W's. Yeah,
Great
get him.
guy.
Keep that momentum rolling, man. Get him.
real sidebar.
Yep.
Aaron Hanare went 40. Did we talk about Aaron Hanare versus Shingo Takagi for going for like a half hour, 40
That
minutes or
definitely
whatever?
didn't come
it
up
was?
today.
Did we talk about it the last show?
I don't think
'Cause
so.
I-
That doesn't ring a bell at all. I
'Cause
feel like
Aaron
Hanare going
Hanare
30
challenged
minutes.
Shingo Takagi for his KOPW title, and they went like 30, 40 minutes.
Did he win?
No, but they went 30 or 40 minutes.
Did they go, like? Was it good?
Yeah. It-
See, this is the thing with Hanare. He comes out of nowhere with a fucking. I mean, you're in there with Shingo, but still,
he
like,
comes out with a banger, and then he.
this was where
fades
on.
away.
Where was this?
This was like New Japan Cup time.
Oh, wow.
It was. I forget when it happened, but
Okay.
it was just like, I was just like, yo,
That's what he does.
Aaron Hanare, can you let us know next time you're
You're
gonna
gonna
do that?
show up.
please?
You're gonna lace him up, right?
Yeah, let
so
us know.
Fucking hit or miss,
Hold on.
man.
I'm gonna find. I gotta figure this out now. They went 38-15. Road to Sakura Genesis Day 2.
Road to Genesis.
It was
So
an
that's just-
ultimate triad match, so I think it was like you had to get 3 falls, but they were all different. And they went 38 minutes and 15 seconds,
Wow.
and it was a bang.
Holy shit.
Aaron
I was
Hanare,
watching
please
some-
just send out a tweet saying, "Hey,
I'm gonna show up."
today."
That'd be great.
And I will
Hanare, if you could do that
fasten
for us.
in. If you could help a brother out,
I was watching some match the other night where it was like, I don't know, this is weird, like 12 rounds.
yeah. Was it a KOPW match?
I might have been old school. I don't remember what I was watching, to be honest. Like, this is not fucking, yeah, I know, right? Fucking idiot. So, like, I came across something,
So
and
so
then, like,
the
11
King of
like
Pro
11
Wrestling
rounds,
title
like, it
has
ran, but there was, like, no pinfall in between the rounds
Yeah.
either.
So
Fucking
so
strange. What is
there's-
that?
So sometimes those are British wrestling match. I forget what they called it because Beyond did it with like Eddie Edwards and Biff Busick and
Okay.
Forget who else.
Gotcha. So
But it
what's
was
the
like-
premise there?
Or Drew Gulak was there. It was just think of it like boxing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like
And the pinfalls is
yeah, it's
the-
kind of like wrestling and boxing combined. I
make
forget
pinfalls
how the
good for
ring. Yeah, it might have Iron Man rules. I don't remember.
Okay.
But
That's all. I just
they've
needed
been
some
they either are
answers. This is
really
the first
good or
time I've seen
really
it.
boring.
It's an
weird.
interesting concept
why
idea, I think.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
It could
it's
be-
either
it could
really
be
good or
something cool.
really bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
right. All right. Sorry.
So now we have another 6-man: Los Ingonables de Japón, Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito taking on just 5 guys of Doki, Taichi, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I don't know. I
mean,
don't know.
I want to go with the
Ju-
OGs.
The Los Ingonables?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. But I think Sonata.
But like
I
you're saying, like
Sonata's
just 5 guys
winning.
Need some.
So I feel Sonata's winning. So therefore, I think just 5 guys are winning.
And as to your point before, like that, then you don't want that stable just to become guys that come in and take
Right.
L's.
Especially if
Right.
Kanemaru takes the belt off Tanahashi or Hiromu.
What was I say? Yeah. 'cause
Takahashi.
Right. What he's the
Dontaku
never open. What does he have?
Jr.
Junior. Sorry, thank you.
Speaking of the never open weight, that's coming later. Never
Okay.
mind. New Japan Strong open weight title. Kenta takes on Hakaleo.
Ooh, Kenta all day, but good for Huckle.
Do I? Good for him.
I
I
guess
have
he is
a
doing better.
sneaky suspicion Hakaleo is going to win. I don't know why,
What
and I
happens to
hope I'm
Kenta?
wrong. Huh?
Then what happens to Kenta?
He's so here's the thing is that I think, and we'll
Is he
get
Super
into
Junior?
this. No.
Of course not. Nobody.
I think that, excuse me, sorry. I think that if you have Hakaleo as your New Japan Strong champion,
Okay.
you can, I don't want to say keep him over here, but you can almost have him be on excursion over
Sure.
here with that title,
Yeah.
and you can bring it, you don't
He
need,
gets eyeballs.
Kenta's a draw. I'm not saying he's not,
Like-
but I don't think he's the reason you're doing well in sales for the New Japan
He's
Strong.
a draw for guys like us that want to
And
watch good wrestling.
I think even if he's not your champion,
He's still gonna do what he does without the
right?
title.
So I think if you put the title on Hakaleo, use it
Okay.
as building block for Hakaleo, and every time you come over here, you put somebody better than Hakaleo in the ring, and
The reason
make him
is
look
sound.
better.
Yeah.
Then I think you can build Hakaleo while still having that title look good. Does that make
I
sense?
think that's good logic.
Sometimes. New Japan World Television title match. We have Jeff Cobb taking on Zack Sabre Jr.
Wow.
Uh,
Yep. All day.
Technical wrestling all day.
repeat.
I would love Jeff Cobb to win here, but I don't think he is. I don't know when,
Sabre's
if
just
Sabre's on
eating.
a tear
Eating
right
people
now.
up, bro. Keep it
And,
up. Especially
Like
when
the
he gets
thing
Cobb.
is like I think his character.
He's
I want to
progressing
say
so quickly.
blooming, because I don't think it was a change, and I don't think it was. I think it's like just blossoming.
Rapid progression. Like he's
Yeah, I
finding
think.
himself.
But
and
again, I
clicking
don't
on
think
all
it's. I don't
cylinders.
think it's a character change. I don't
No.
think it's anything like
He's just
Sonata or
figuring it
Dave
out. Like,
Finley.
everything's working.
But I think it's going very much under the radar, and
I
I
agree.
think he's doing so
His
well.
style does. I was not, and like my buddy showed me to him, and I'm like, that's boring. I don't get. Like I
Yeah.
get it, but I don't care. And
Yeah,
then it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, no. All right, now I get it. But you're really gonna sit and watch them. Like if you don't have
Oh,
the
yeah.
patience to sit and watch that shit, yeah.
But it's
you're
only
not
going to be
gonna
50.
see it.
You only need at least 15
But like
minutes to
his
watch him while he has
transitions
that
in and
title.
out of submissions,
It's insane.
He does some of the wildest shit. Like if you like Daniel Bryan, I'd say you're gonna love Zack Sabre, right?
And when
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, when they've gotten in the ring together, it's been barn
I can only
burners.
imagine.
The never open weight 6-man tag team titles. We have Strong Style, El Desperado, Minoru Suzuki, and Ren Narita, who was the other young boy I forgot, Ren Narita, taking on Chaos, Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii,
Oh wow.
and as it currently of this filming, we don't know, because Cage Match doesn't know, and I don't know if it's on Twitter. We don't know who that third person's going to be.
They do this at bell time? Like
They might announce it ahead of time because we've
it's
still got
Okada
some
and
shows.
Suzuki.
Can I throw a name at you? That would be kind of funny and fun for me to.
Go ahead.
Who's the mentor of Ren Narita?
I don't.
Katsuyori Shibata,
Wow.
who is your current Ring of Honor Pure Champion, by the way.
Yeah.
So, if Okada and Ishii bring out Sonata, I think, or not Sonata, excuse me, Shibata.
Yeah.
I think that would be a one hell
Okay.
of a third person, regardless
Appreciate
of
you
it if you
setting the bar
win.
there now, so I can
Yeah, yeah. So I can
seriously
disappoint
fucking
you.
disappointed.
Yeah, it's
But
gonna be
I love it.
fucking Hiroki Goto or fucking
An RA.
Nare. Yeah.
All right.
Semi-main event, never open weight championship. We have Tamatonga taking on Dave Finley.
Let's go.
Dave Finley.
It's kind of stacked.
Dave Finley.
It's for the title? Who's the champ?
Yep, Tamatonga.
Tamatonga. Is Finley ready?
Yes. And we'll talk. I'll get more into that on
I'll go Tonga, just for sake of argument.
So I would love
I'm sorry.
for Tama Tonga to look like he's going to lose because of Bullet Club interference, and then Tonga Loa comes back because he's been out since last year's Capital Collision tour.
Okay.
So I would love for that, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
That would be awesome. That would be great.
Yeah. And then your main event, Sonata, in his first title defense, takes on Hiromu Takahashi, and it's Sonata.
It's Sonata all day.
It's Sonata all
obviously, yeah.
day.
Like you said, this is going to be
I think we're going to get Sonata over, and then Shingo's going to come out.
like Sonata's coming
Or
into Wrestle
Naito.
Kingdom with this thing.
He has to, I think. Or if he loses it, he's got to win the G1. And I really want Will Ospreay to win the G1.
But see, that's like you said with Japan. Like what? Right, exactly. Yeah, especially after last year. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. All right.
So like, why would you put the title on Sonata, have him beat Okada, just take it off? And
Yeah,
then
no.
For him to win the Super Juniors,
He's
that makes
got-
no sense.
no.
But what you said, Japan does that sometimes.
Yeah,
But no, I think he's rolling into. I think he's rolling into Wrestle Kingdom.
He's got
with that
at
title.
least till the G1. He's going to hold it till at least the
Yeah.
G1.
Agreed.
I think his next opponent is either Shingo or Tetsuya Naito.
Okay.
I think those are. I think he's just going to run through Los Ingobernables, and I think he's going to run through everybody but Bushi, which is hilarious to me. But hey, and I think that's and it's a fine storyline for
Yeah.
him, and you might want to throw Evil in there just to the history of it, but nobody wants to see Evil in the top spot. There's a reason for it because he fucking sucks. Anywho's, all right. That was our New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast. We're not ending the episode, but now we're going to talk about Bullet Club because I've been a Bullet Club fan from the start, and I have some thoughts.
So what do you want? I can't wait to hear yours because you've been a little fired up today about this. So
Yeah,
and
'cause
I don't
I've
know what's
had
coming. So
some- I've had some thoughts.
floor is yours,
Okay.
sir.
We're gonna start with Jay White. Can we start with Jay White? I feel like it's the
Absolutely
most. I
start
feel
with
like
Jay White.
the second. It's one in between him and Dave Finlay. It's 1 and 2 on the importance of Bullet Club.
We did get him Jay Finley.
Quick.
Jay Finley. What the fuck? Jay what? Go ahead. I'm gonna shut my mouth. Just fucking go.
Did you say Dave White?
I said Jay Finley. I don't. Just go ahead.
Okay.
I can really do it
So-
again.
Quick recap. Jay White's contract comes up. He does 2 matches for New Japan. One, loser leaves Japan. He loses to Hakaleo. Second match, loser leaves New Japan, loses to Eddie Kingston. There's reports that he is 50-50 between AEW and WWE. He has not made made his decision yet. Fine, cool. I don't care. Wherever I've always said this. Wherever Jay White goes, I will follow. I don't
Agreed.
care. He's the man in my he's one of the top
Right now,
wrestlers in the
he's-
world right now. And I know I'm the only one waving that flag and I'm the only one on that island. But what were you going to say?
If you've been paying attention, for you to, I wouldn't have believed that. If you didn't get me into New Japan, I would laugh at that.
Yeah.
Watching him now, that is 100% correct, and Jay White should have been blockbuster news.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, WrestleMania comes around. Nobody thinks he's debuting. Nobody's had contract talks. Blah, blah, blah. Day after WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania, which is a joke now, by the way. Huge joke now, by the way. Once WWE, real quick, once WWE acknowledged
Just
it
something. That's
and
what that
turned
was.
it into something, that's it. It was
Now you're
over.
just
with.
popping a rating in
Yep.
the first hour.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up there. And I'm like, and then you hear, not only does he not show up there, but you hear the rumblings of Vince being back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said to Teresa, I was like, as soon as I read the reports, Vince was back and had a lot to do with that show. I was like, Jay White's out. Sure as shit. He shows up on AEW either the next
That
week
was
or
that.
the following
I
week.
think it was that one. Yeah.
And it was just like, and she's like, wow, that happened quick. And I said, yeah, because Vince is back. And Jay White didn't want to deal with Vince. He wanted to deal with Vince. He wanted to deal with Trips. He wanted to deal with Regal. He wanted to deal with Shawn. And
Let's get a lot of shot.
and there was, and the problem is and like you'll see reports of talent being afraid of budget cuts coming up, which is what felt like a yearly thing at times. But it's one of those things
When
where
they
it's
say
like,
budget cuts, you know how many people are just taking up money on that fucking roster, not doing anything?
oh, absolutely,
Like,
100%.
I hate
No,
that budget
I-
cut talk. Like,
right.
Yeah, again.
But I think Jay White asked point blank, how much am I going to be dealing with Vince? And Triple H couldn't give him a clear answer. And I think Jay White went, okay, I don't want to deal with Vince. I don't want Vince to have any control over
I'm
me.
not coming in and job out to Logan Paul.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's fine.
You know what I mean? But, like, yeah.
But he's not coming. He wouldn't come in to do the BS that WWE would Vince would want him to do.
AJ would have been the easy transition. Into
Right.
WWE.
And don't get me wrong,
We
I'm
still
not
wouldn't know what his
super
stance
happy that he's doing a program with Ricky Starks and Sean Spears as much as I love Sean Spears. But I think here's the thing. It's an introductory feud to get the crowd acquainted with Jay White. Now, Jay White shows up in AEW. Bullet Club all over him. Bullet Club all over him. And I just go, huh? He's left New Japan. I'm wearing a King Switch. I'm wearing my Jay White shirt, by the way. He left New Japan. He left Japan. I'm not mad you put him with Juice Robinson because I think they play well together.
I do too.
think they complement
There's
each other very
chemistry there,
well.
right.
Yes.
But it's the Bullet Club
It's the-
factor being
yes.
a part of it. So what's his status
So
with
now-
Bullet Club when he left Japan? What was his
So if
focus
you follow the sequence of events, after he loses to Hakaleo, he's about to say his goodbyes to Japan. Gets jumped by Dave Finlay. Dave Finlay goes, "I'm taking everything from you."
So that's why he jumps in with Juice, though. Because if he's gonna have a beef with Dave Finlay down the road, who knows Dave Finlay better than anyone?
We're getting there.
Okay, sorry.
You're fine. You have them Bullet Club Gold. You have now this another subsection of Bullet Club. Unless this is leading to something at Forbidden Door 2, where it's AEW of Jay White, Juice Robinson, and I'm kind of hoping a third, versus Dave Finlay, Kenta. Sorry, I jumped. I didn't really jump ahead, but if you have Jay White, Juice Robinson, and El Phantasmo, who got booted from Bullet Club, versus Dave Finlay, Kenta, and pick somebody in Bullet
Tama?
Club.
No, he's not in there, right?
No.
Chase Owens.
Chase Owens, sure, fantastic. Give me Chase. Then why are we doing this Bullet Club bullshit? As I will,
If he's going to task with Bullet Club at some point, why is he still repping Bullet Club?
right.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
If because you can't have him lead Bullet Club because he can't go to Japan
Right.
to wrestle for New Japan because he did
I see
those
what
two
you're saying.
matches.
He should just
now,
be Jay White right now. Not
Now,
attached to Bullet Club.
here's why I'm not upset they did those matches and we are where we are. I believe that Jay White believed that he was going to WWE. So, if I'm going to WWE, I should do these two matches
Okay.
because I'm not going to need to come back to Japan. I'm not going to need to come back to New Japan.
Oh wow, Conway.
So
That makes a lot of sense.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Belief.
He didn't put himself in checkmate, but
No, he
But
didn't. He
got painted in the corner a little.
He planned properly to go to WWE, and then the negotiations with WWE was thrown for a loop, and now he then became painted in a picture. Now, there's 100% a complete and thorough argument to be made that if there was any chance at all that you wouldn't go to WWE, don't even bother doing those matches. I 100% understand and agree with that argument.
Wow.
If there's any chance that X might happen, don't do it. Fine. I also, it's hard for me to blame, and I know people will, Tony Khan, Juice Robinson, Jay White for doing this, for going the Bullet Club route. Because
gonna be my
Bullet
next
Club is
question.
worldwide, so it's easy recognizable for the fans. And, like, you don't have to figure out, well, what name should we go?
Right.
Like, what should we call you? Like, blah, blah, blah. It can all be rectified at Forbidden Door, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can all, like, you can...
It can all come back together. It can all
you
come back around.
you can absolutely do something where leading into Forbidden Door 2, which I really want to do a show about it. All depends on if we can get schedules lined up. Which I want. Anyways, you can all do something where it's Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Juice Robinson, El Phantasmo, challenging Dave Finley, Kenta, and you know who actually I really would like to see, and it plays into the El Phantasmo part, Taichi Ishimori. Because Taichi and El Phantasmo were Bullet Club Scooter's tag team, so I think putting Taichi on the other side is a good story
Love it.
piece there. And if you have it where the stipulation is if Team Bullet Club Gold win, then Jay White can go back to Japan, back to New Japan. And if Dave Finley wins, then Jay White then the opposing team leaves Bullet Club and has to change their gimmick name. Then we're rectified. We're all good.
Okay.
We're cleaning up the sins of our past. And
Do you trust the Tony Khan?
absolutely not. I will say this, it will fall on deaf ears. I could send Tony Khan letters for years, and he would not even open them. Like, I hate backseat I hate armchair quarterbacking, but it's one of
At
these
some
things
point we
where,
have,
like this is how, and I don't even care if if Team Bullet Club Gold goes over. I don't care if Jay White never goes back to New Japan.
Yeah.
And never goes back to Japan. I don't care.
You just want the story handled properly.
Right, that's all I'm saying.
Which has been a huge issue lately.
And even if Dave Finley's group wins and they have to leave Bullet Club forever, that's fine too. You have two correct options. You have, regardless of the result, you're fine. You clean slate it. You know what I'm saying?
Reset. Yeah, hard reset. I see what you're saying.
I could ask everybody to retweet this segment and send it out to Tony Khan and bombard him, and it won't happen. But, and to be fair to Tony Khan, it's not just up to him. It's up to Gato as well.
He's got his hands tied with some things, and if he happened to just stumble upon Jay White at the final hour of
which I think is what happened,
and he was like, "Oh shit, how do I handle this?" I know
it's the easy way to handle it, but it's also it's not a hard solution to fix either.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
I guess my biggest issue with the whole thing was Jay White was on AEW television. We didn't get a reminder of everything that happened with Jay White coming in and out of AEW sporadically until when he debuted in that match. All of a sudden his music hit. He kind of just came down to the ring. Like, I don't know. It was very strange to me that none of it fell into a pattern.
So
that's what bothers me.
So
it concerns me.
Right. The thing
Jay
is
White
with
being there.
with his debut and his past.
Is like, are we just resetting like he was never there? Are we not going to talk about it?
So it's one of those things where you kind of have to, because
That's tough, man.
even though we remember it, you can't assume everybody has, and I'd rather
Start over.
Start over, or I'd rather believe everybody has the memory of a goldfish than hope that people remember what happened last year when Jay White slammed the best friends in the production truck and turned around to the camera. Like,
Right.
I'd rather
That's all I remember from that.
Right, that's what I'm saying is that
backstage beatdown, him turning around.
I'd rather forget that segment ever happened.
Was that just strictly to get to Forbidden Door though?
I think so.
And then after, it was almost like you say, like when things happen in almost like the New Japan tournaments, like it's its own little world. It happens and it's never really brought back.
The thing is
That's
that
kind of what happened with
the
Forbidden
problem
Door and
is
Jay White.
like the other thing too is like if Tony Khan said, or Gato or whoever said, yeah, we had more plans for that, but schedules didn't line up, I'd be like, all right, that's fine. A lot of the times that's what I suspect happened.
Right.
Either the segment didn't go the way we thought it was going to go, so we said fuck it, let's leave
Scrapped
it,
it.
or schedules couldn't turn out, or whatever it was. I'm more forgiving of segments that don't close out than storylines that don't close out.
Yes. Yeah, because the segment can be forgotten. You're
Right. So with the debut of Jay White, I thought it was fine. I didn't.
I thought it was
part of
fine.
me just
I
like
didn't
it,
love it.
That's fair. That's fine. It's not. It wasn't the greatest thing, but at the same time,
it
like
should have been a big moment for AEW though, right? Like,
Right,
This is
but-
our rebound from CM Punk now. The CM Punk rubble is finally
Right.
simmering down, and we're hitting the reset button with Jay White. When he shows up, it's gonna be like breaking news.
Right.
And did that happen? Like, did it
No.
set the world on fire?
No.
Twitter, like
no.
AEW Twitter,
But
didn't
it's
go
like,
nuts?
but
Like,
the
all
thing
fucking-
is like, I almost prefer that because I'm so sick of the vignettes of like who's this, and then 2 days later it's Jay White, and then we're now waiting X amount of weeks for
Yeah.
Jay
No,
White
and
to
I get
debut.
that. I think it's just the way
And that's
it
just
was.
my personal preference.
It kicked off the show, and it was just like so. Like, I can't wait to do this and get him out there.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like Tony was so excited to say, "I got him. Go
Yeah.
ahead, go."
Yeah.
That was my biggest issue with it. Was you could almost
but at the
sense
same
that
time,
sense
like
of urgency to get him out there and introduce
right,
him.
and the thing is too is like, I don't. I would have. I'm kind of. It's tough because I would like to say it would have been cooler or better if he debuted against Orange Cassidy or
See, I don't remember
kind
who
of
he debuted
powerhouse Hobbs, maybe, like just somebody wearing a title and
Yeah.
giving the switchblade, but at the same
Yep.
time, like I'd rather you have it on somebody.
against. That might be the issue. Who was it? I can't remember who it
It was
was.
Starks. It was Ricky
You
Starks.
said that earlier.
It's just one of those
Shit.
things that I'm glad it's Ricky Starks. 'Cause Ricky Starks can go, but he's not that.
Is this an
It's
issue with
just-
AEW not building properly then?
No.
Should Starks have been
So-
big enough for that to be
No,
like, oh,
it's- it's-
he's going at Starks. This
No,
is
it's one
important.
of those things. So it's one of those things where it's really, the AEW problem is that it's the roster's too big for the times they have, and the lack of proper use of dark and elevation, and that's been my
Even proper use of
sticking.
Dark Elevation, 100%.
That's where my sticking point with AEW has been forever, is that cool during the pandemic era and a little bit before, yes, should Dark and Elevation be the jobber shows where you bring in enhancement talent and put your talent over in whatever, and then the other two matches are like your talent versus your talent in a good
Yep.
match? Yes.
It's almost like
that's fine. But now there is no reason for Dark and Elevation to be handled the way they are.
Nope. It shouldn't be like watching a primetime wrestling
There's
episode
no
where it's just cuts
there's
to matches.
no benefit to these enhancement matches on Dark and Elevation.
So to jump off that real quick, the best thing that has been done on Elevation in Dark is the Ethan Page and Matt Hardy storyline, right? What they've been doing was so much fun and back and forth and who's going to screw who and,
Right.
you know, yada, 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 the contract switching hands. We all know what they're doing. And it finally blows off on TV and it finally culminates.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
the fuck did he do? He brought back Jeff Hardy and put the spotlight right on him and destroyed all the work Ethan Page and Matt Hardy just did for months,
Oh,
building
really?
one of the most fun storylines that's been simmering down in Dark and Elevation that no one was talking about. And instead of putting it on them two and telling us what just happened and why it all unfolded, Jeff Hardy's music hits and the place goes bonkers. And everything on Twitter after that was, should Jeff be back? Is Jeff going to handle this? And it was the biggest ex-WWE guy, idiot,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
I was the biggest Jeff Hardy fan in the world. Like,
Yeah.
kid didn't get straight for kids. He's not going to get straight. So what are you doing?
Right.
You know, what? And this is coming from a guy who got shit on his whole life being a Jeff Hardy guy. But it ain't going to happen. I hope to God it does, but I'm done.
This is it.
I'm done
Last
hoping
shot.
for this kid to say, and then
Last
whatever.
shot.
The point was, don't put this is why this is my issue with Tony Khan and his decision making. Because when you have something like that and you're finally building something organic and fun with two guys who are very smart and it's working for both of them, and then you put the spotlight on a guy like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Man, Tony, that I want to. Oh man, wow.
I can see why that's upsetting.
That is frustrating.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
No, you're fine. No, I think if you use Dark and Elevation as other TV shows. And I know there's rumors floating around that they're going to do a brand split in the third show on Saturdays.
Make one of those a third show on TV?
Yeah, and then it'll be a hard, as the rumor right now is a hard split roster.
Like a SmackDown and a Raw?
Right, but more of like early day SmackDown and Raw where it was like hard roster splits and we're not really crossing over. And
See, I thought they did. I don't remember the early days.
I just
Anyway.
think I think there's a proper way to do brand splits and it's not how it's being done right now. But
Okay.
regardless,
Leave the commentary alone, by the way. I just want to throw this out there. If anyone does listen to us who may... The commentary that happens on Dark and Elevation with, like...
Excalibur
Mark
and
Henry,
Taz.
I'm sorry, thank you. Keep that the way...
oh yeah, it's so good.
Do not let that... Do not... That's not when we polish that. The reason I watch this is because it has
They're
a
so
watch-along formula
Yeah.
with guys that know what they're doing, and they're not afraid to shit on something when something goes south.
Yeah.
They have to do it on AEW
So
because it's TNT. Let them loose a little bit. If
Yeah.
you're going to do a third show, the commentary is everything. That's the reason I tune in. That's the number one.
Yeah.
And then when you catch something good, it's like, okay. But they have fun watching wrestling. I enjoy listening to them talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Keep it. So, again.
So yeah, I'm not upset by Ricky Starks and Jay White and Sean Spears and Juice Robinson. Not. It's fine. It's gonna do what it needs to do. It's gonna introduce Jay White to everybody, and then he can take the belt off Orange Cassidy, and that'd be perfect. Now, on the other side, we have Dave Finlay. Dave Finlay is what was the quote? My Bullet Club is something about cool T-shirts. I forget what the quote was, but he put out a tweet that was like, "My Bullet Club is going to be about being a badass and not having a cool T-shirt."
Okay.
Something to that. I'm paraphrasing or trying to remember what it was. Dave Finlay's trying to change the direction of Bullet Club, and I am 100% for it. I am 100% for what Dave Finlay's planning on doing with Bullet Club. He's trying to bring it back to its days of prominence, and that is perfectly okay with me. I'm absolutely happy about that. I think it's correct and fair for New Japan to dwindle down the Bullet Club main group.
Mm-hmm.
I hope
Less is more.
this leads to Bullet Club separating themselves from House of Torture. And I know I've said this multiple times on this podcast. That needs to happen. We need to get a split of Bullet Club and House of Torture. And if Dave Finlay is looking to solidify the ranks, that's one of the things he needs to do.
Okay.
Needs to separate from House of Torture.
So that should be his move. Like
That should be one of his next moves.
Not cutting dead weight, but... Yeah.
It is cutting dead weight. Like, House of Torture doesn't even join Bullet Club in anything.
Okay.
There's no reason they need to be a subgroup of Bullet Club anymore. Just fuck them off.
Making his formidable team.
Right. That's
who
what I'm
he's
saying.
rolling with is who he's
Right.
rolling with. Core group of 3 to 5 guys, right? Like or
Rough,
maybe a little
yeah.
more than that.
I think
4 to
yeah.
6.
4 to 6, yeah.
Okay.
And House of Torture is out. Get them out.
Love it. I agree.
Dave Finlay is on a roll. I give him like 3 or 4, maybe 6 months before I think you need to go, okay, now we need a
Get the rocket pad ready.
not the
launching
rocket pad,
ready.
not that, but before you go, okay, now you're out of the cleaning phase of Bullet Club and you're into the hard pressed Bullet Club. Like this is where, like you're in the cleaning phase of Bullet Club now. Now let's show you what Bullet Club is going to be.
Yeah.
You have probably till G1 roughly. So, and he added Clark Carnage, your boy,
Love it.
and it was great.
He's a beast.
So good.
He's a good look. He
He's-
can work.
right.
He kill. Like he just eats people up.
Right.
Bro.
It's a great addition to Bullet Club.
He's got charisma. He's got
Yep.
personality.
He
like I
goes
said
from
before.
somebody you're like, okay, I like Clark Connors, but they're not going to do anything with Clark Connors, so I'll enjoy him when he's on there. He's going to be great for their strong programming. To now going, okay,
He might be a player.
might be a player.
He's
And that's what Bullet Club should, that should, what any faction should do, but that's what Bullet Club should be doing. Bullet Club did that. Bullet Club made people players and made people threats. So you did that over the weekend, or you did it over the Collision weekend with Clark Connors
gives
and
him
with
juice, man. It'll give him some serious juice.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm sure I've said it on the show before. Like every time I look at Clark Connors, I think, man, that's what Hangman Page should have looked like and been. Like the way he eats people up.
Yeah.
That should have been. I almost wish he got the Hangman Page character.
Oh yeah, I see.
You know what I
saying.
mean? Like
yeah.
I wish he was playing that role. Like
No, I like him. Was he the Rhino or something like that?
is the Rhinestone Cowboy?
No. I forget what Clark Connor's tagline is, but I like it.
But like that's what I'm saying. So
But you
make
have,
him that.
yeah, I mean, you have, honestly, for
He's
me, it's
believable.
Clark Connors, Dave Finley, Kenta, Taichi Ishimori, Gato, Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, and one more. That's a solid 8 Bullet Club.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that.
Sure.
And if you absolutely want to get rid of, did I say Taichi Ishimori?
I don't think I heard him. Sorry.
Dave Finley's your leader. Gato's his handler. So I don't even know if you really count Gato, because Gato's only going to wrestle partially. Taichi Ishimori, Kenta.
I like that.
Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, Clark Connors, one more. And that's really 7 if you count Gato as a manager.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So,
keep
and then
it to 7.
you get rid of House of Torture.
Absolutely 100%. I agree.
Please, for the love of God. Jesus. I hate House of Torture so much. And I like Yujiro. I like Yujiro. I don't like Sho.
So
I
keep him?
don't like.
Keep him
no.
as your 8? No.
He's him and Yano are the 2 stalest characters on regular New Japan TV, and that's because I'm not counting Toge Makabe and fucking Hanma. I don't count them, but Yujiro and Yano are your stalest characters.
Gotcha. All right, so that's your Bullet Club thoughts.
Yeah, that's my Bullet Club thoughts. I'm excited, and I wish Tony Khan and
I'm
Gato would
interest-
listen
I'm
to me
intrigued.
and do what I just said, but
I won't take
What
it
do
too
I know?
excited. Excuse me. God damn, sorry. I'm not excited because AEW has given me nothing to be excited about with the way they've handled anything in the last few months. But I'm definitely intrigued. So I hope this is righting the ship for AEW. with
there's
Jay
a lot
White,
of
and there's-
potential here.
There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of shows coming up. I bashed the United Kingdom thing, and looking back, maybe I opened my mouth too soon. I don't know. But
Oh, what the whole all
just the whole Wembley Stadium thing, and I hope it works out. Maybe
I
I
do
was
too.
looking at it from
I
the
think
wrong
people just
perspective.
want to hate, honestly.
And
And I'm not
that-
saying that's what you
Yeah,
did,
and that
but-
wasn't even me. I thought he shotgunned it. I thought he seems like he does do things sometimes just to say, "Look at me, I can do this," and I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. But
But I
that's
think-
just my thought. Like
but
that
I-
might not be it at all. There could be so much more to this move within Wembley Stadium, and if there is, great. But you just set the for me as a fan, SummerSlam '92, right? 80,000 people.
Yeah.
You say you're walking in Wembley Stadium. If I don't see that number, but this is a WWE thing and being very WWE fans, what do? They hit you with attendance all the time. It really doesn't matter at WrestleMania. No. But
I think that comparison.
mindset
No, see, the thing
to
is
do
that
something with Wembley,
the
that's where my head is.
Right. No, I think so. 2 things. I think that you say they shotgun things and do look what I can do kind of mentality.
That's what it
I
feels
think
like to me,
that's
and I
what.
may be wrong.
But that's what AEW was built on, rightfully or wrongfully, whether it's been a positive or a negative. That's what the mindset of the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and Kenny has been. Of hey, you said we couldn't do this. Watch us do it. And
I love that mindset.
Right.
I'm the hugest fan
but
of
it
All
has
In.
hurt them, and the reason the show's called All In. But
That's what
it
I'm
has
saying.
hurt them in the past. I understand that.
But when we were 5 years into a promotion now,
yeah.
and you pull something like this, we're not talking about a stadium in Chicago, 20,000.
No.
You know?
So when you see
Such
now, don't if people compare this to WrestleMania, I think that's improper. If you compare this to, like you said, SummerSlam '92 and Wembley,
80,000, yeah.
yes, that is a
That's where
fair
my mind-
comparison.
that's where my mind went
and
immediately.
if they don't match or do better, then it's
Hey, what's it considered?
right. I
Maybe
know.
not to the fan base these days. Like maybe I'm just an old man who's just bitter. Like
I think what's helping them is
They
that
get
it's in
40,
a new
50,
market,
it's
and I think
A+.
this is one of the first times they're hitting the UK market. I'm probably wrong, but
which in the end of the day is a great thing.
and the thing is that
It
I
really
don't
is.
as much shit as AEW can get week to week. Their pay-per-views hit.
Yeah.
They
They
rarely
always
miss.
do a great job. It's
So
just
I'm
somehow
not like
make it
I'm
work.
not worried about the card at all.
Yeah.
I'm worried about ticket sales right
Yeah.
out the jump, and I hope it on initial sell is 75% sold out. If it's
Me too.
past 50%, if it's past 60% on as soon as it starts. If it's past 60%, I'm happy.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sure this goes without saying, but if he's doing it for the benefit of AEW, great. Like, but if he's
I
doing
think
it
he absolutely is. I think it's absolutely the benefit of
to
AEW.
AEW in the wrestling industry and
But
widening your
Right.
your product, absolutely do it.
Yes.
Don't do it because you're pissed off. Don't emotionally make
No.
a move like this because something fell through somewhere, and now
So,
you're like, I'm
I don't
gonna
think-
show you, motherfucker.
So
Like,
I
not.
think those reactions, those emotional ones, are more in that week to week
Okay.
time frame. Big decisions like this, I think, are well thought
Well
out.
thought out.
And
I-
I think,
and the old man has
if you
to
told
be-
me that the card is already set
Yeah.
and they're just kind of like it's set, but if something comes up, they'll change it, I would 100% believe that, because you have to have, you have to have a card idea for this big of a show to go, I'm comfortable with this card going
Yeah.
into this show.
That's true too. And if the dad is more heavily involved, because like, yeah, I think it was Danny that was saying, like, you know, he has a soccer team over there and he was looking to buy Wembley at some point. Like, if this is more of a big time player move from the dad's standpoint, which I didn't even put two and two together, that gives me a little more hope that this is going to go very well.
Yeah.
So
I
thank
think-
you, Danny, for talking me off
I
the
think
ledge with
I
that.
think you'll get some Gaga with some British celebrities. You'll get, and it will just be a fucking banger.
Yeah.
I
We hope
really
so.
don't see it not being.
I
a
don't
banger.
want it not to be, and I shouldn't. I should just stop the negativity there. So you're right. Yeah,
That's why-
it's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Do you have any Bullet Club thoughts? Are you good?
No, I think you hit it on the head. Yeah, like I said, I just hope David Finley irons it out and turns it into something that is, when we look back on the end of his era as leader, we look at it and say that was David Finley's Bullet Club.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what he did.
Right.
And he made the impact. You know.
Right.
So yeah, that's it.
All right. So we have Wrestling Dontaku coming up. We have Best of the Super Juniors right after that. If Dom and I cannot get together for a show about leading into Best of the Super Juniors, we apologize, but you will get our thoughts of Best of the Super Juniors regardless. So, with that being said, I think this has been a very productive episode. I feel
awesome.
better getting all my Bullet Club stuff out.
Yeah, I think this was
I
a
feel
good
good.
episode, 100%.
Fuck you, technical issues. We got it done.
Yeah, we did. And just about enough
Thank you,
time, too.
Desiree.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
whoever is at
everyone
the front
involved
desk of
at
the
the Boston Public
yes,
Library.
Boston Public Library, for giving us more time because you understood what our issue was.
Thank you.
So, for Dom, I'm Conway. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good life. Have a good night. Have a good day. I don't know.
Have a good day.
Have a good
Have a
day.
good life seems like they can fuck you,
This
right?
is our- this is our- like, this
when
is
you
our
say that to
last one.
someone like, oh, that's the last time we're going to speak.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Have a good day.
There it
Have a
is.
good Tuesday. We'll see you later.